The phone buzzed at exactly midnight, and Lauren stared at the glowing screen with confusion. Because her mother's friend never contacted her directly, and especially not at this hour, the message contained a single photo showing a strange symbol that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly blue light, and beneath it were words that made her heart race with unexpected fear and curiosity. Your mother wanted you to know the truth before tomorrow, and I am sorry we kept this from you for so long. But you are not entirely human, and your real heritage is calling you home now. Lauren sat frozen on her bed as memories suddenly crashed through her mind like waves breaking against rocks, and she remembered things that should not exist in any human childhood. She recalled playing with children who had silver skin and eyes that reflected starlight, and she remembered a garden where flowers sang melodies that could heal wounds and bring joy to sad hearts. Her mother had always dismissed these as vivid dreams from an overactive imagination, but now Lauren understood they were suppressed memories from her early years on another world. The sender of the message was called Vera, and she had visited their home many times over the years, always bringing gifts that seemed too advanced for Earth technology. Lauren had assumed Vera was just an eccentric, wealthy woman with access to prototype gadgets, but the truth was far more extraordinary than anything she could have imagined. Vera was from a species called the Meridians, who lived on a planet orbiting a binary star system 300 light-years from Earth, and they had been watching humanity for centuries. The Meridians were tall and graceful, with skin that shimmered between silver and pale blue depending on their emotional state, and their eyes held depths that seemed to contain entire galaxies. They had mastered technology that made Earth science look like primitive cave drawings, but they valued wisdom and emotional intelligence above all material achievements and military power. Lauren's mother had been part of a secret program where human and Meridian genetics were combined to create hybrid children who could bridge the gap between the two species. The experiment had produced only 7 successful births, and Lauren was one of them, and each hybrid child possessed unique abilities that manifested differently based on their individual nature. For Lauren, the gift was empathy so profound she could sense the emotional states of everyone around her and sometimes even influence them toward peace and understanding. She had always thought her intuition was just unusually sharp, but now she realized it was something far more significant and potentially dangerous in the wrong hands. The message from Vera continued with urgent instructions because a faction of Meridians opposed to human contact had discovered the location of all 7 hybrid children. They believed humans were too violent and unpredictable to be trusted with knowledge of alien civilizations, and they wanted to eliminate the hybrids before Earth could establish formal contact. Lauren had less than 24 hours to reach a hidden facility where Vera and other allies would protect her and help her unlock her full potential. The address led to an abandoned observatory in the mountains 2 hours from her apartment, and Lauren grabbed her jacket and keys without hesitation, because something deep inside told her this was real. As she drove through the dark, winding roads, she noticed strange lights following her vehicle, and they moved with impossible precision that no human aircraft could match. Her heart pounded, but she pushed the accelerator harder and focused on reaching the observatory before whoever was tracking her could intercept and capture her. The building appeared deserted when she arrived, but as soon as she stepped inside, the entire structure hummed to life with soft blue illumination that seemed to recognize her presence. Vera emerged from a hidden doorway, and her silver skin glowed with relief and concern as she rushed forward to embrace Lauren like family reuniting after years of separation. You came, and that takes courage, because most humans would have dismissed my message as a prank or the ravings of a disturbed mind, Vera said gently. I remembered everything the moment I saw that symbol, and I need to understand what I am and why my mother never told me about any of this. Lauren replied. Vera explained that Lauren's mother had wanted to tell her many times, but the agreement with the Meridian Council required keeping the hybrids ignorant until they reached maturity. Now that Lauren was 25, the dormant genetic markers were fully activated, and her empathic abilities would continue growing stronger until she learned to control them properly. Without training, she could accidentally project her emotions onto crowds or absorb so much pain from others that it would destroy her own mental stability and sense of self. The facility contained training rooms where Lauren could practice using her abilities safely, and there were also communication devices that would connect her to the other 6 hybrids. Are they all coming here, too, and will I finally meet others like me who understand what it feels like to be caught between two worlds? Lauren asked hopefully. Vera's expression darkened with worry, and she explained that 2 hybrids had already been captured by the opposing faction and their fate remained unknown and deeply concerning. The remaining 4 were racing toward different safe houses across the planet, but the enemy had resources and technology that made them extremely difficult to evade for long, Lauren felt. A surge of determination because she had spent her whole life feeling slightly disconnected from humanity. And now she finally understood why that emptiness existed. She was meant to be a bridge between worlds. And if she could master her abilities, she might be able to prevent a war that would devastate Earth. The training began immediately, and Vera taught her to create mental shields that would protect her from overwhelming emotional input, while still maintaining her empathic sensitivity. Lauren practiced projecting calm and confidence toward aggressive test subjects, and she learned to detect lies by sensing the discord between spoken words and true feelings. After hours of intense work, she could identify individual emotional signatures from hundreds of meters away and even influence group dynamics by subtly shifting the collective mood. Your abilities are stronger than any hybrid we have ever seen, and you have the potential to change the course of history between our species, Vera said with pride. But their training was interrupted when alarms screamed throughout the facility, and Vera's face went pale with fear as she checked the security monitors with trembling hands. 6 ships had just entered Earth's atmosphere without authorization, and they were heading directly toward the observatory with weapons systems charging and ready to fire. They found us, and we need to evacuate immediately, because this facility cannot withstand a direct assault from that kind of firepower, Vera shouted urgently. Lauren felt the fear of everyone in the building crash over her like a tsunami. But instead of drowning in it, she channeled that energy into focused determination. No more running. And if I am supposed to be a bridge between species, then I need to try talking to them first, Lauren declared firmly. She walked outside despite Vera's protests and stood in the clearing as the ships descended with blinding lights and thunderous engine noise that shook the ground. The lead ship landed and its door opened to reveal a tall Meridian warrior with skin that had darkened to deep indigo from anger and eyes that burned with conviction. You are an abomination, and your existence threatens the purity of both our species, and you will be eliminated for the greater good, the warrior announced coldly. Lauren took a deep breath and opened her empathic senses fully, and let herself feel everything the warrior was experiencing beneath that mask of righteous anger. She sensed fear of the unknown and grief for a sister lost during a previous first contact attempt with another species, and desperate love for the Meridian people. You are not angry at me, and you are terrified of losing more people you love, and I understand that fear because I have lived my whole life afraid of being different, Lauren said gently. The warrior faltered and his weapon lowered slightly as Lauren's words cut through decades of conditioning and touched something genuine in his heavily guarded heart. I do not want to be your enemy, and I want to help our peoples understand each other so no more sisters or brothers or children have to die from fear and ignorance, Lauren continued. She projected waves of compassion and understanding toward the warrior and his crew, and she showed them her own memories of loneliness and searching for belonging. The warrior's eyes began shifting from burning red to softer purple as his emotional state transformed, and the other crew members emerged from their ship looking confused and moved. How did you do that? And I have never felt anything like that before, and it is like you showed me your heart without words, the warrior whispered with wonder. This is what I am, and this is what the hybrids were meant to do, and we can help both species feel what the other feels and build real understanding, Lauren explained. The warrior knelt before her and placed his hand over his heart, in a gesture of surrender and respect that surprised everyone. Watching from the observatory, I came here to destroy you, but you have destroyed only my hatred, and I will return to the council and speak on your behalf, he promised solemnly. The ships departed peacefully, and Lauren collapsed from exhaustion because using her abilities at that intensity had drained every ounce of her energy and willpower. Vera caught her before she hit the ground and carried her inside while tears of joy and